Hey guys, I'm back, and on this video, this is going to be video number 3 of our series on our Adirondack chair. This is our Adirondack chair here that we're building. It's a 4th marking period project for the cabinet making unit that we're doing. So some of the terms that we're going to go over in the video here are 1/4 inch pine. What we're going to do is we're going to fasten the leg to a chair. I'm going to show you how to do that. And in order to do that, you're going to need to know some of these terms. The first term you're going to need to know, you're going to need a 1x4 piece of pine. All right, this is a 1x4. It's 3/4 in dress dimension by 3.5. So this is the leg. The leg is going to be cut 23.5 inches long. Okay, so this is your 1x4. That's the piece that you're going to need to do this process. The next thing you're going to need is a 1/4 inch by 2 carriage bolt. This is a 1/4 inch by 2 carriage bolt. Okay, this is what it looks like, and we're going to demonstrate how to use a carriage bolt. The other thing you're going to need is a 1 5/8 exterior screw. We've been using these in class all year long. This is the screw that we're going to be using for this process. Okay. The other thing you'll need is a 1/4 inch flat washer. This is new to us. We haven't really used carriage bolts and nuts and washers. This is a 1/4 inch flat washer. All right. The next term you're going to need to know is, up here is your 1/4 inch nut. Okay, this is a 1/4 inch nut. Now when you get into nuts, they can be threaded differently. You need to make sure that if you're buying a coarse thread carriage bolt, you're buying a coarse thread nut. Okay, in carpentry it's not real complicated. It's either fine thread or coarse thread typically. So you need to make sure if you're doing this on your own that you buy the right materials. All right, so again, we have our carriage bolt, we have our washer, and our nut is going to be critical in this process. All right, guys? Some of the other things you're going to need an adjustable wrench to tighten it, or if you actually had the right wrench for it, would be fine. Either one's going to be fine for this process. The other thing we're going to need is, where did my other drill get to? We're going to need 3 different types of drills for this. We're going to need our 1/4 inch drill bit for our carriage bolt, and we're going to use a 9/64 drill bit to pre-drill our 1 5/8 inch screws here. Okay. All right. The other thing you're going to need is a T20 Torx bit. We've been over this in class many times. This is your Torx bit, the T20 Torx bit, and this is the Torx bit you're going to utilize to screw the 1 5/8 screw in. Okay. Now the next process you're going to do is you're going to take your 1x4, and just like we've done on this side, see how our chair is? We've already fastened this leg. We're going to begin to fasten the other leg. So how I did this, the leg sits on top here. From the bottom to here is 11 1/4 inches. How I knew that is I looked on the blueprint, okay? So I come down here. I'm going to pull out my tape measure. I'm going to mark exactly 11 1/4. Now I want to mark this in a manner, I'm going to put a little X on that side so I know which side to fasten it on. But I also want my mark so that when I set my mark up here, it's right connected to the bottom of that. See that? So again, from here to here is 11 1/4 inches. After I get that up there, I'm going to put it flush with the front. I'm going to install 2 1 5/8 screws, exterior screws in here, but I want to make sure when I put these screws in, they don't hit these screws here. So I'm just literally going to line it up, look where my screws are, and I'm going to put a screw hole there and a screw hole there. My screw hole should be in approximately 3/8 of an inch right here. So from the edge over, they need to be 3/8 of an inch. The reason is this screw and this screw need to be installed into this front face frame right here. So after we put those 2 screws in, we're also going to put a carriage bolt right here. So if you laid this out right, it should form a triangle like this. Okay, where you have a 1 5/8 screw, 1 5/8 screw, and a carriage bolt. Okay? So how we're going to do this is we're going to come down here. We're going to take our 9/64 drill bit, and we're going to drill only the front 2 holes in our triangle. We're pre-drilling this because it's close to the edge and we don't want it to split, right? So we pre-drill it to get some of the material out of the way with our 9/64 bit. Now we're going to use our T20 Torx bit and our 1 5/8 screws. And we're going to install those, making sure that this is perfectly flush at the front here. When I say flush, that's what I mean. It's flush on the front frame there as best we can. And we're going to go ahead and screw that in. Gently, guys. This isn't, we're not framing houses anymore, all right? We're building furniture. It's a little bit different. It's more of a delicate process. So we'll take a screw there and a screw here. Our lumber's dry, so it splits easy. All right, so we have 2 screws there. Now the next process, we're going to take our 1/4-inch drill bit and we're going to prepare it for our carriage bolt. So we're going to come up here, drill a hole through there like so. All right, it's a 1/4-inch hole. Now the thing about a carriage bolt, and the reason we're using a carriage bolt, if you notice the top of the bolt is flush like that. It's gonna, so people wouldn't, as they came across the furniture, wouldn't get things hooked on it, things of that nature. The other thing that's kind of different about it is if you look up at the top of the carriage bolt, it's square. The reason that is when we put the carriage bolt in, it only goes down about that far with the hole that we made. When we take our hammer and we tap it, now when we put our nut and washer on it, this won't spin. That's important. That's why it's designed that way. It'll be important if you're using a carriage bolt that you use the right diameter drill bit. After I have that done, we're going to flip this back up like so. And we're going to install our washer and our nut with our adjustable wrench. So we'll put the washer on first. We're going to put a coarse thread nut on here because we're using a coarse thread carriage bolt. And we're going to tighten it. We don't have to tighten it real tight. That's why we can use an adjustable wrench here as far as there's such a thing. All right, so why this is important, now we have security in this project. Both the screws are installed into the 1x4 here, and the carriage bolt is fastened to the leg. If you really wanted to reinforce this, we could also add some glue in between here, but we didn't do that on this process. So that's what your chair should look like at the end of step 3, just like this, guys. Again, we're using a 1x4 with its carriage bolt and 2 1 5/8 screws, okay? If you laid it out right, it should look like a triangle on the edge of your leg there, guys, okay? Does that make sense? Have a great day. Thanks.